Good, yeah. Good boy. Hey guys, it's Sudi here and welcome back to another video. Good boy! You're such a good boy. You're so smart, aren't you, big man? Today I'm quite excited. I'm doing something I haven't done on my channel before. So I was inspired by another YouTuber's video. Her channel is called Emology. I hope I'm saying that right. But she makes really great rat care videos, and she did a video recently talking about people's unpopular rat care opinions, and I found that video very interesting. So that inspired me to want to make a video as well like that. So I asked you guys for your unpopular pet opinions and go check out her channel. She makes some really great videos on rat care and mouse care. Also guys, before I start, I just uploaded a bunch of new merch designs on my merch store. I'll have that in the link in my description. These are all designed by me. We have some cute axolotl designs that I hope you guys like. Yeah, go check them out if you want. You can use the code SODAPETS for free shipping in the US, which is all through till the end of September. And I'm working on some cockatiel designs next, so hopefully I'll be able to make some of those as well. So yeah, I asked you guys on my Instagram and my YouTube community page for some of your unpopular pet opinions, and today I'm just gonna read them and share what I think about those opinions, and maybe you guys in the comments can also share what you think about the opinions I'm gonna talk about in this video, because I've looked at some of them and wow, I did not expect to get a lot of controversial opinions here, but there is a few, so let's have a look, shall we? I think I got like over 100 replies on my Instagram. I definitely did not expect to get this many, but yeah, I'm gonna try and go through some of them anyway, because there's a lot here. I think one of the most common answers I got on here was that kids shouldn't own pets and parents should not buy pets for their children with the intent of letting their kids be the only carer for them. And I must say I completely agree with that. Now, I do believe that kids can have pets, but I believe that the parents should be aware that they're still the main owner of the pet. Every child is different, obviously, but you know, some kids don't really understand that they're not toys and you have to be gentle with them and they require a lot of care. So I believe that kids can have pets as long as the parents are really educated on the pet's care and are aware that they should be the ones that are caring for the pet most of the time. I did get a budgie when I was a kid from my parents. I think I was like 12 when I got my budgie. You might remember him. His name is Quinn. He lived for about 8.5 years, and there's a lot of things about that I'm kind of regret, you know, and I wish that as a kid I did a lot more research on budgie care and that like my parents did as well. Not to be mean to them, you know, I know they really did care about him just like I did, but there's definitely a lot of things that I wish I did differently when caring for him, and I feel that if my care was different, he would have lived a lot longer than 8 years. He still lived a good long life, and I know he was happy, and I really cared for him. We all did, but I just know that my care wasn't perfect, and that there's a lot of things I could have changed, and he could have been a lot happier. So, yeah. Got a little personal there. It's unfortunate that a lot of parents do use animals as a way to teach their children about like death, which is just kind of weird to me. Like, shouldn't you be using a pet to teach your children about properly caring for other living things? I think fish bowls should be made illegal everywhere. I agree with this. Thankfully they don't sell fish bowls in pet stores near me, but they do still sell them in America. I don't know if they're illegal here, but I do know that they don't sell them here, so that's good. I know they're illegal in some other countries, and yeah, they should be illegal. They're just cruel. You can't change my mind. There's no arguing with that. They're just cruel. Dry flakes or pellets shouldn't be a big part of a fish's diet. I disagree with this. I think that actually a high quality pellet or flake should be your main diet for your fish. There's a lot of really great high quality fish pellets and flakes. I don't know much about the kind of fish food you can get in America. I don't know what else you would feed your fish if it wasn't flakes or pellets. I mean, they can have bloodworms and brine shrimp, but that should really be a treat. But I do believe that people should be soaking their pellets in flakes before feeding it to their fish, so they all sink instead of floating at the top of the water, because if they're eating food from the top of the water, they can gulp a lot of air and that can cause issues for the fish. So I don't think class pets should be a thing / norm. Yes, I agree with this a lot. I remember class pets being a thing in my primary school, and I remember there was this classroom. It wasn't my classroom, but it was like my friend's class. They had an axolotl, but they always called it a walking fish, because that's like kind of a term for them, but it's not really a proper term because they're not fish, but that's what some people call them. They call them Mexican walking fish. So they always called it a walking fish, and I remember it was like a golden one, and it had gravel, like rainbow gravel at the tank, and like, oh my god, I like only very slightly remember it because this was when I was like really young. But yeah, I think class pets should just not be a thing ever. Like, it's just never a good idea. It's very rare when class pets are actually treated properly. I just don't think it's a good environment for animals to be in, you know, full of kids that are probably banging on their tank or whatever, and they leave the animal at school. I don't know, it's very strange. I've seen a lot of pictures online of class pets in like other people's schools, and it's like, it's actually shocking to me. Some of the enclosures people keep those pets in at school, and it's crazy. There is no beginner pet. They all require lots of care, love, and needs. I agree with this so much. I get so many comments or questions asking me, what's a good beginner pet for me? And like, I don't know. Beginner pets are just not a thing. And also, I don't know how I would know what pet you should get first. You know, that's really up to you. I don't know you, so that should be your choice. But yeah, there's no beginner pet, okay? You should never get a pet with the mindset of, this is a beginner pet for me, because that's just not a thing. All pets require a lot of care. All pets may need to go to a vet, which can be expensive. It's just not a thing. Okay, this is one very controversial one that I don't really agree with, but I did get a couple of them saying clipping your bird's wings shouldn't be seen as inhumane or cruel. Another one says clipping birds' wings so they can glide but not catch air is fine. Okay, just my opinion, but I really disagree with those. I am very against clipping birds' wings unless there's a proper reason for it. For example, like your bird is disabled. That's the only good excuse for me to have to clip your bird's wings, if your bird's disabled. Other than that, I don't believe there's any proper reason to clip your bird's wings. I honestly think it's just pointless and just kind of stupid. Sorry, I don't want to be mean, but like, I just don't get it. Birds need to fly. It's their life, you know? It's freedom for them. It's natural for them. And I just couldn't imagine not letting my birds fly around my studio. Like, I just would think they would be so depressed not being able to do that, you know? And I see the excuses a lot being thrown around, like, oh, I clip my birds' wings so they can bond with you when I first get them. And the thing with that is, you're kind of just forcing your bird to bond with you because they can't get away from you, which is only going to make them trust you less. When I first got Yuki, he actually came to me with his wings clipped. The breeder did that, and he didn't tell me, and he didn't ask me if I wanted them to be clipped. I did not want them to be clipped, but they were clipped. And because of them being clipped, he was extremely clumsy. So he did, like, fly into things a few times because, believe it or not, with clipped wings, they can still fly. They just can't fly very well, so they just end up hurting themselves a lot more than they would if they could fly properly. And if your bird escapes and they have clipped wings, they can still fly away because of the wind will blow them away and they won't be able to actually properly fly, so they'll just end up hurting themselves again. It can also cause a lot of behavioral issues like stress and anxiety in birds, just because flying, like I said, it's what birds do, and taking that away from them is basically taking away their freedom. So yeah, I really disagree with that. I think it's kind of like declawing a cat, you know? Declawing a cat is definitely very cruel, and it is seen as cruel, which is good. It is illegal in my country anyway. And I feel like clipping a bird's wings is very similar to that, you know? Feel free to argue with me in the comments, but it's not gonna change my mind. Also, sorry, I'm kind of rambling about this, but another excuse I see a lot is that they clip their bird's wings so their bird won't fly into walls and stuff. But like, it's very easy to train your bird and you're much better off just training your bird instead of taking away their freedom. When I first got my birds, they flew into like the walls a couple of times. It was always only very lightly, it wasn't hard or anything. That was only when I first got them, and now they're fine. They know where to go. Birds are extremely smart, and they fly all over the place now. And it's likely clipping their wings will only make them hurt themselves even more than if they actually had their wings. Okay, this next one, I'm hoping is a joke, but who knows. You should release goldfish back into the ocean. Surely this is a joke, right? Please tell me it's a joke. I don't know, because there was people on TikTok who actually did this. There was these girls who actually brought feeder goldfish to set them free in the ocean. So yeah, that makes me not know if this is a joke or not. But yeah, please don't do this. So in case you are actually unaware, goldfish are freshwater fish, not saltwater. Only saltwater fish can survive in the ocean. So releasing goldfish into the ocean would just kill them, and you should never release any captive bred animal into the wild. First of all, it's illegal, it's very bad for the environment, and it's pretty much a death sentence, so yeah, just letting you guys know. No one person can own 40 plus animals and give them the attention they need. Honestly, if I count all my fish, like all my baby fish, I probably have 40 plus animals, so I don't agree with that. I think it very much depends on the person. Some people can own a lot of pets and care for them all extremely well. Other people can't, and some people can't even own one pet and treat it well. Ferrets should be legal pets in New Zealand with good care. So yeah, in case you guys are unaware, there's a lot of animals that are illegal to keep as pets in New Zealand for a lot of good reasons. I have talked about it in this video. But yes, ferrets is one of those pets that are illegal to have now. There are certain requirements for you can own a ferret, like you have to have a permit and it has to be for certain reasons like hunting and stuff like that, but you're not allowed to breed them and stuff like that, so I don't even know how people get them. But honestly, I don't agree with this. I think that it is a good thing that ferrets are illegal as pets here in New Zealand. Ferrets and other animals are killing all of our native animals that are already endangered, and if we don't do anything about it, they will become extinct. So I'm actually glad they did ban the breeding of ferrets here in New Zealand and you can't get them as pets, because I think we should be trying to make less ferrets in New Zealand rather than having more here, just for the sake of all of our native birds that are endangered and being killed by these animals. Fish keeping is so much fun, and anyone who says fish are boring should jump out a window. So yeah, fish keeping, I agree. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. It's therapeutic, it's nice, but it also can be very stressful sometimes when like your fish are dying or your fish are sick and you don't know what's happening, or your tank cycle crashes. So yeah, I can half agree with this. Fish keeping is a lot of fun to me, and I don't think fish are boring at all. I think they're really fun to watch, but they definitely can be quite stressful sometimes and definitely aren't for everyone. I really enjoy cleaning my fish tanks every week. I just find it really therapeutic and nice, but not everyone will agree with that, and that's fine. Buying dogs from a good breeder is not bad. Not everyone is in a position to take on a rescue or adopt a dog that might have trauma or disabilities. I agree with this very much. I think that people need to stop pressuring people to adopt a dog instead of buying a dog from a breeder, because yes, there are bad breeders out there that you should never support, but there's a lot of really great breeders out there, and not everyone should adopt a dog or other animal, because like this person said, they can have behavioral issues like trauma or disabilities, and not everyone can handle a dog with issues like that, and that's okay. Like sometimes I'll look into like chihuahua rescues and see what kind of dogs they have. I remember one time there was a dog that I really wanted, but I found out he had a heart issue and that he'd often have to go to the vet and he might not live long, and I couldn't deal with that, you know. I definitely would love to adopt a dog in the future, but it's not something that I am emotionally prepared for right now. You know, because a lot of time when you do adopt a dog, they can have a lot of disabilities like that, and you should only adopt a dog or other animal if you're fully prepared to care for all its other issues that it might come with. And if you feel that you're not prepared for that, then that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with finding a good reputable breeder. Obviously you should always do tons of research on your breeder, ask them tons of questions, and make sure you actually have a look at their setup, like go to their house. If they don't let you do that, then I wouldn't trust them. A good breeder will be happy to show you their house and pictures of their dogs and all that kind of stuff and answer all your questions. Another thing that good breeders do, that if you decide later in the track that you can't care for the animal anymore for whatever reason, a good breeder will allow you to return the animal back to them. That way the animal doesn't end up in, you know, adoption center or anything like that. So that's another thing to think about. Bird poop isn't that gross, you get used to it. I agree, bird poop is probably the least gross poop out of like all the other poop that my animals have. And that's a question people always ask me, is how I deal with the bird poop. Oh god, not the bird poop. I clean it up with wet wipes. Yeah, I don't know why it's a big deal to people, but yeah, bird poop, it's really not that bad. It's very small, especially cockatiel poop. It's very tiny. Literally, like, there's someone on me right now. I will happily touch bird poop, but I will never touch my dog's poop. Although I do have to wash Toby's butt sometimes, which is kind of gross. Anyways, so you guys, I think I'm going to end the video here. There's a lot of questions here, and I really can't go through them all because there's so many. Way more than I expected to get. And I think this video is already a bit long. So yeah, thank you guys so much for contributing to this video. Maybe I'll make a part 2 if you guys like this one. Feel free to share your opinion on these opinions or on my opinions if they're different to mine. Thanks for watching. Bye guys!